Hello friends, we are discussing the chapter Laws of Motion, and in the last lecture we have discussed about the fundamental forces in nature. Today we are going to discuss about the real and the pseudo forces, that is the types of forces. Just now we are going to discuss about the real forces. Before that we are going to discuss some examples about the real force. Now, the earth is revolving around the sun. We know. Now, why the earth is revolving around the sun and which force is giving the necessary centripetal force for the circular motion of the earth around the sun? The force is the gravitational force, which is a real force, which is the fundamental force in nature. Similarly, when the moon is revolving around the earth, the gravitational force of attraction between the earth and the moon supplies the necessary centripetal force. So, this gravitational force is a real force. The electrons are revolving around the nucleus. The force related is a real force, which is the electrostatic force of attraction between the positive nucleus and the negative electrons. Also, of course, the protons, which are positively charged, and the neutrons, these are all in a very stable state inside a very, very small nucleus. Again, this is due to the strong nuclear force, we know. So these are all the real forces in nature. The gravitational force, the electromagnetic force, the nuclear force. We have studied about it. Hence, so what is a real force? The force which is produced due to the interaction between objects like the sun and the earth, the moon and the earth, the electrons, the protons, the nucleus. So such force which is produced due to interaction between objects is called a real force. Now we are going to discuss about the characteristics of the real force. The first characteristics is it is produced due to interaction between objects, which is between some actual objects. This real force has specific source and origin, like the gravitational force, the nuclear force, the electromagnetic force. Also, it can be explained on the basis of interaction of the real forces in the nature. So, this is a real force. The next, we are going to discuss about the pseudo force. Now, pseudo, the meaning, here the P is silent. Pseudo meaning which is not imaginary, but which is unreal, which is not real, is the meaning of the pseudo. Now, how is this which is not real but which is a force? So, we will take one example. Now, supposing you are sitting in a bus and the bus is moving in a straight line. Now, due to some reason, the driver of the bus applies brakes strongly. Now, what has happened to you? It's like you are pushed in the forward direction. Is there anyone who has pushed you? Who has given you a push? There is no one who has given you or who has pushed you. But still, you experienced a push in the forward direction. Similarly, if you are in a standstill bus, a bus at rest, and the driver comes and he starts the bus with an acceleration, what happens to you? You are pushed back in the backward direction. There is no one who has pushed you, but still you are pushed in the backward direction. Why? This is due to the inertia of the body, inertia of your body. when the driver has applied brakes, when the bus was in motion, at that time, the seat of the bus, all have come to rest, but your body, which has inertia in the forward direction, it is moving in this forward direction, and hence inertia, that is the tendency of the body to maintain its state of rest or of uniform motion. It tries to move forward. So there is a jerk to your body in the forward direction. But this force which pushed us in the forward direction or in the backward direction, we cannot explain it according to the Newton's laws of motion. We cannot attribute it to some external source. According to Newton's law, there should be some force. When a force is applied on a body, the body moves. F is equal to ma. Force is equal to mass into acceleration. So whenever a force is applied on a body, then the body of mass m is accelerated in the direction of the force. So this push cannot be explained with the help of Newton's laws of motion. So in order to explain this phenomena in terms of Newton's laws of motion, we have to consider an unreal force acting on us when the driver has applied brakes. A pseudo force acting upon us. We have to consider, आपल्याला consider करावं लागतं. Actual मध्ये that is due to the inertia of our body, which is in motion. But to explain the push, the reason for the push, reason for the force applied to us, we have to consider, and in order to explain this push in terms of Newton's laws of motion, we have to consider an unreal force, a pseudo force, which acted upon us when the brakes were applied by the driver. There is one more example which we can discuss. That is, supposing we are moving in a bus and the bus takes a turn right. It is moving in the right direction. Now, we experience generally, that is, when the bus is not very slow, we experience that when we passengers and the bus is moving in the right direction, we passengers are pushed in the left direction, in the opposite direction. Again, this is due to the inertia of our body, which is, and again here, the push which is on the left side when the bus is moving in the right side cannot be explained by the Newton's laws of motion. Hence, we have to consider a pseudo force or an unreal force which acts upon us, and with the help of which we can explain the phenomena using Newton's laws of motion. Similar is a case when the bus and we inside the bus are moving in the left direction. When the bus is moving in the left, it is taking the turn in the left direction, we are pushed in the right direction. So again, a pseudo force acts upon us. So we define the pseudo force as force is a force which acts on a passenger in a direction opposite to the direction of acceleration and which is along the radius and away from the center of the circle. Hence, the characteristics of the pseudo force are: first, it is not produced due to interaction between objects. Also, it is not it does not have some specific source and origin, which was in the case of the real forces. हे जे लिहिलं होतं आपण रियल फोर्सेस साठी लिहिलं होतं, इथे मी फक्त नॉट ऍड केलेलं आहे कारण हे सुडो फोर्सेस साठी आहे. It is not explained on the basis of the interaction like the gravitational force, the electromagnetic force, the nuclear force. हे जे रियल फोर्सेस आहेत त्यांच्यामध्ये जी इंटरॅक्शन आहे तशी आपण इथे सुडो फोर्समध्ये एक्सप्लेन नाही करू शकत. नॉट एक्सप्लेन ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द रियल फोर्सेस. इट इज नॉन रियल फोर्स. हा जो सुडो फोर्स आहे, दिस सुडो फोर्स इज अ नॉन रियल फोर्स. इट इज नॉट अन इमॅजिनरी फोर्स. इमॅजिनरी नाही आहे, फक्त तो रियल नाही आहे. इट इज नॉन रियल फोर्स. And this pseudo force does not obey the Newton's laws of motion. A car of mass 1.5 ton is running at 72 kilometers per hour on a straight horizontal road. On turning the engine off, it stops in 20 seconds. While running at the same speed on the same road, the driver observes an accident 50 meters in front of him. He immediately applies the brakes and just manages to stop the car at the accident spot. Calculate the braking force. According to the problem, the mass of the car is 1500 kg and the velocity of the car is 72 kilometers per hour. Now, this is not a SI unit, which is 72 kilometers per hour. So we have to convert it into meters per second, which is a SI unit, because we want to solve the problem in the SI unit. Hence, so 72 kilometers per hour, that is 72 into, what is 1 kilometer? 1 kilometer is 1000 meter. So instead of this 1 kilometer, I write here 1000 meter. And per hour, so 72 into 1000 upon, this is per hour, that is in 72 kilometers in 1 hour, that is 72 into 1000 meters in 1 hour. So what is 1 hour? 1 hour is 60 into 60 seconds. So here we have converted this hour into the seconds because it is per hour. So we have taken upon and we calculate it and we find the answer as 20 meters per second. So the velocity of the car, which is 72 kilometers per hour, in SI system or in SI unit, the velocity of the car is 20 meters per second. Now, in the case 1, when the car is moving with initial velocity 20 meters per second, that is 72 kilometers per hour, the driver stops the car. So the velocity of the car is now 0. But still, the car is moving. It moves for 20 seconds. So what is the retarding force? Because the driver has not applied brakes. In this case 1, he has only just stopped the car. He has put off the keys, the ignition. Hence, we know that axle A is V minus U upon T. So here, the car will now slowly stop, not due to applying brakes, but due to the opposition for its motion. And the opposition is the frictional force. कारचे जे टायर्स त्या रोडवर मूव्ह होत आहेत, सो कार ज्या दिशेने मूव्ह होत आहे त्याच्या बरोबर अपोजिट डायरेक्शनमध्ये एक फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स एक्झर्ट होतो आहे, होणारच आहे, म्हणजेच रिटार्डिंग फोर्स एक्झर्ट होतो आहे. सो दिस रिटार्डिंग फोर्स इज नाउ डिक्रीजिंग. This is the retarding force, or it is the retarding acceleration. Now, the acceleration we know is final velocity minus initial velocity upon time. So the final velocity of the car is 0 because the keys are off. The ignition is off. Final velocity is 0. The initial velocity is 20 meters per second. And this car stops in 20 seconds. So we get A is minus 1 meters per second square. That is the acceleration due to the frictional force or the retarding acceleration which was applied is minus 1 meters per second square. This is the retarding acceleration on the vehicle, on the car. Again, the car is moving with the same velocity, that is 20 meters per second or 72 kilometers per hour. But now, in this case, in the second case, the driver sees an accident and hence he applies brakes. In the case 1, brakes are not applied. Engine is turned off. But in the case 2, brakes are applied by the driver. So, and the initial velocity of the car, we know 20 meters per second. The final velocity is 0. He applies brakes, and after 20 meters, after 50 meters, the car stops after the brakes are applied. So, S is 50 meters. Now, we know, according to the kinematical equation of motion, that is V square is equal to U square plus twice AS. So, we rearrange and we get V square minus U square is twice AS. So, A is V square minus U square upon twice S. So, V, which is 0. So, 0 square minus 20 square upon twice S, that is 2 into 50. So, A is, so we calculated and we get the answer as A is minus 4 meters per second square. That is, so now in the second case, the car stops not only due to the frictional retardation but also due to the braking retardation. म्हणजे ड्रायव्हरने ब्रेक्सही अप्लाय केलेले आहेत आणि there is a frictional force which is opposing force between the vehicles of the wheels of the car and the road. मग रिटार्डेशन हे त्या फ्रिक्शनल फोर्समुळे पण झालेलं आहे, रिटार्डेशन हे ब्रेक्स अप्लाय केल्यामुळे पण झालेलं आहे आणि याचा कंबाइंड इफेक्ट जो झालेला आहे, द ॲक्सिलरेशन इज -4 meters per second square. So, the frictional retardation is -1 meters per second square and the combined effect of the frictional retardation and the braking retardation in the second case is -4 meters per second square, which we have found out. So, this is for the case 1 and this is for the case 2. Hence, the brake, when the driver applies brakes, driver ने फक्त जेव्हा ब्रेक अप्लाय केले त्याच्यामुळे ब्रेक अप्लाय केल्यामुळे किती रिटार्ड झालेली आहे गाडी. सो द ब्रेकिंग रिटार्डेशन इज -4 minus of -1. So, which is the combined effect minus the frictional retardation. So, -4 minus -1, that is equal to -3 meters per second square. This is the braking retardation, that is the retardation, that is the deacceleration in the car due to the application of the brakes only. So, we get braking force is m, that is mass, into acceleration. So, mass of the car into retardation, braking retardation. So, the braking force is mass of the car into the braking retardation. So, that is 1500, which is the mass of the car, into 3, which is the acceleration, but that is the braking retardation. So, that is 4500 Newton is the answer, which is the braking force applied. Thank you.